And lo, and horror of great darkness fell upon him.
Right, it's a tree went into a trance.
Okay.
Now get Job 33:14. So we know that he's in a deep sleep, right? So now he's going to get a vision. Read that.
Job 33:14.
Right.
For the Most High speaketh once, yea twice, yet man perceiveth it not. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon the bed.
Right. It's like he's in a deep sleep. Right? So now the man Most High getting ready to speak to him. Go ahead.
Then he openeth the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction, that he may withdraw man from his purpose, and hide pride from man.
Right, so this is what is getting ready to happen right now. In deep sleep, he gives man instructions. So that's what's happening with Abraham. Go back and read Genesis 15 and 12.
Genesis 15 and 12. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram. And lo, and horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years.
See, he says seed gonna be in a land that's not theirs, and gonna afflict them 400 years. Read.
And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance.
Right, so we said afterwards shall they come out with great substance. So we didn't serve no Egyptians no 400 years. We was there, but we didn't serve no Egyptians no 400 years. Joseph was Joseph was there, and Joseph was right under the Pharaoh. So when the Pharaoh died, we came into power. You see what I'm saying? Because we was already there. And remember, Joseph they told everybody got to be under Joseph. So we ruled approximately around approximately around the 14th to the 18th dynasty, about 4 different dynasties that we ruled. You know, some try to say it's different, but I know it's 4 different dynasties that we ruled. That's when Egypt was powerful, when we was ruling, really. You know what I mean? Because the Most High, everybody is powerful once we was there with them. These superpowers of the earth, who had us in captivity? These superpowers of the earth. You know, we look at all the inventions that we invented. You see what I'm saying? All the things that we invented, without our inventions, this place would be primitive. Period. Even America, wherever we at. You know, you see what I'm saying? So it says we're gonna come up with much stuff, and also right along with Obadiah, the book of Obadiah, right after Amos. Read Obadiah 1.
Obadiah 1. Obadiah 1 and 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Most High Power concerning Edom.
Concerning who?
Edom.
Concerning Edom. We know Edom represents the biblical name for the so-called Caucasian people. That's what he said. Read verse 17.
Verse 17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance.
So upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance. And who is Zion? Hold that. Isaiah 51 and 16. Upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance. Who is Zion? Because a mountain can't be delivered. So let's look at who Zion is talking about.
Isaiah 51 and 16. And I have put my words in thy mouth, and I have covered thee in the shadow of mine hand, that I may plant the heavens, and lay the foundations of the earth, and say unto Zion, thou art my people.
Right, so he said to say unto Zion, thou art my people. Now who's the my people? Exodus 3 and 10. Okay?
Exodus 3 and 10.
This is how we get understanding, so there's no doubt about it. Nobody can gainsay on it. Read.
Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people.
Who's this people?
The children of Yasharallah out of Egypt.
There it is. My people, the children of Israel. So, let's go back to Obadiah 17. Now that we know that Zion represent who? Yasharallah. Or the 12 tribes of Israel. Read it again.
But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance.
So, upon Mount Zion, or the children of Israel, going to be deliverance, or they're going to be saved. Read.
And there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions.
So we're going to possess their possessions. Okay? Now go back to Genesis. See, we around that time now, man. You count from 1492 to now. But nobody knows but the Most High. When the deliverance of we're going to be saved from our enemies. So let's read. Continue on.
Genesis 15 and 15. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the 4th generation they shall come hither again. For the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. And it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace, and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. In that same day, the Most High made a covenant with Abram, saying,
sacrifice. You saw the sacrifice. Read.
Saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates, the Kenites, and the Kenizzites, and the Cadmonites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Rephaims, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Girgashites, and the Jebusites.
Right, so that river of Egypt is talking about that Nile River around Egypt, right? So all these different lands he gave us, when you look at, also when you look at Deuteronomy 7 and 1, read down from there. Hold that though, we'll continue.
Deuteronomy 7 and 1. When the Most High, thy power shall bring thee unto the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
Yeah, see? So that's the same thing we see in here when Abram is, you know, being told what he's going to do, what the Most High going to do. Cast out these nations. See how they go together? So let's go back to where he was at.
Chapter 16.
Those are Hamite nations, or so-called Africans. They were in our land at that time. Living it up.
Genesis 16 and 1. Now Sarah, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had a handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar.
So Hagar was Sarah's slave or handmaid. Work for, you know, she had to do whatever Sarah told her to do, right?
And Sarah said unto Abram, Behold now, the Most High have restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarah.
So now, what woman would think to do this today? Think about it. It was Sarah said, I ain't bear you no children. Go unto my maid. And I'll have children through her. Since she was barren, she couldn't have children. You know? And scripture tell you that these ones supposed to be like Sarah. Who was holy. You see what I'm saying? That's to take a certain mindset though. And it doesn't, you know, a lot of times, this doesn't apply to everybody's life. You understand? But I find that people have a problem with what she just did when they probably never have to do that at all. You understand what I'm saying?
I get you.
Some of them already had children And they ain't gonna never have no more children, but this don't apply to them. So how you have any kind of attitude about what it is that you're reading here, with the Most High looking upon that, it's been written in the books. See, the mindset has to be right. Because it don't affect everybody. Everything is not going to affect everybody's living condition or how they live or how they deal with life. There's going to be a whole lot of lonely people. They're going to be sad because they're not going to make it. Because it don't apply to them, but yet still they have an attitude about something that don't apply to them at all. You understand what I'm saying? They got nothing to do with them. Because they might already have a marriage, they might already have, or they might not be married, or they might not ever get a man, or they might get a man, but then it doesn't apply to them because, or they might, you know, however their situation is, it doesn't apply to them because they already have children. Or they can have children. You see what I'm saying? So, why have an attitude about something that we read about that's our story? You see what I'm saying? And they got to have the mindset of this. It's a spiritual, mental ability to read this and say, okay, well, this is how Sarah was. Most I say, you're going to be like Sarah, who called Abraham Lord. You see what I'm saying? Her power. But you see how the mindset was for her, for how much love she had for Abraham. That's love. That's a whole lot of love. When you think about how the world has changed now to the thinking the way it is now, that's off. You Edomanites, straight up. Because it wasn't like this before. We read about it. We in the first books of the Bible, right? That's her mindset that she had to say, go in there and bring forth children. Since I can't bring you children, go into my maid and have children by her. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And Sarah, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife.
Right, so she gave Hagar to Abraham be his wife, meaning he would go in to her, have sex with her. That consummates marriage, read.
And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes.
See? Go ahead.
And Sarah said unto Abram, my wrong be upon thee.
So you say, our wrong be upon me. Wrong spirit I gave you to. They got looking at her like, hey, you can't bear children. Look, I can bear children. You know, making fun of it. Go ahead.
I have given my maid unto thy bosom.
And
when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes.
See? You know what I mean? When she saw that she got pregnant, and she thought she was better than Sarah. Despising her, you know what I mean? Looking down upon her like, you know, you ain't just to have something on her. Go ahead. Egyptian. They ain't gonna hammer it. Go ahead.
The Most High judged between me and thee. But Abram said unto Sarah, behold, thy maid is in thy hand. Do to her as it pleaseth thee. And when Sarah dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face.
Right. It's like woman rose up on her. She rose up on her. It said hardly. She rose up on her. You gonna say something? You went to Abraham. Abraham said, "Hey, do it how you want to do it." Eve said, "I'm gonna get your butt." The Egyptian woman, got the hell away from her. Go ahead.
And the angel of the Most High found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way to Shur.
Because she has Abraham's son. You know what I mean? She's bearing Abraham's seed. So the angel came to her. Go ahead in the wilderness. Go ahead.
And he said, Hagar, Sarah's maid, whence camest thou?
So he made sure he let her know that you Sarah's maid. Right? So where you coming from? Go ahead.
And whither wilt thou go?
Where you gonna go? Go ahead.
And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress, Sarah.
Yeah. But she was talking stuff. Then when Abraham told Sarah, hey, you can raise up on it. Sarah rose up on it. Hard. Ran her butt away. Go ahead.
And the angel of the Most High said unto her, return to thy mistress, and submit thyself under her hands. And the angel of the Most High said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude.
Right. Talking about the seed of the child that she's going to have. Going to be greatly in number. Go ahead.
And the angel of the Most High said unto her, behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael. So
this the Ishmael's the father of the Arabs. Go ahead.
Because the Most High have heard thy affliction, and he will be a wild man.
Is he going to be a what?
A wild man.
He'll be a wild man. Dropping bombs on himself and saying, boom! I mean, he's going to be a wild man. That's what it says. He's going to be a wild man, Reed.
His hand will be against every man.
Oh, pow! See, his hand going to be against every man. It's going to be a wild man. His hand going to be against every man, Reed.
And every man's hand against him.
Every man's hand against him. Everybody against the males. Ishmaelites. Go ahead.
And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren.
Yeah, that's why they all together. Over there in Saudi Arabia, over in that area. Go ahead.
And she called the name of the Most High that spake unto her. Thy power seest me. For she said, have I also here looked after him that seeth me? Wherefore the well was called Bilahariel. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered. And Hagar bare Abram a son. And Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare, Ishmael. And Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abram.
That's 86 years old. And Hagar had Ishmael. Okay. Chapter 17.
Sure. Chapter 17. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Most High appeared to Abram and said unto him, and when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Most High appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty Power. Walk before me and be thou perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face. And the Most High, Yahushua, talked with him, saying, as for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations.
Right, so he says covenant with him. Now get hope that gets Psalm 105 and 7.
Psalms 105 and 7. He is the Most High. He is
106. Let's see. And 8.
Yeah. Psalms 105 and 8. He hath remembered his covenant forever.
So you remember this covenant forever, read.
The word which he commanded to 1,000 generations.
The word that he commanded to 1,000 generations. Because you're looking at, he's 99 years old. Ishmael was born at 86. When he was 86 years old, right? Yeah. So he said, remember his covenant forever. When we say it's going to make a covenant with him that's going to last forever. So remember his covenant forever, read.
Which covenant he made with Abraham.
He made his covenant with Abraham, what we're reading about right now, read.
And his oath unto Isaac.
So Isaac is not here yet. Ishmael is the only one that's here, as we're reading in Genesis the 17th chapter. When he's born, he says he's going to go to Isaac, and not Ishmael, but to Isaac, read.
And confirmed the same unto Jacob.
Confirmed the same unto Jacob, read.
For a law.
For a law, read.
And to Israel.
And to who?
Israel.
And to Israel, read.
For an everlasting covenant.
For everlasting covenant. You see? So when you look at, go back to Genesis, because this is what happened. Genesis 17 and read verse 2.
Genesis 17 and 2. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face. And the Most High talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee.
So we just read about how he started the covenant with Abraham, right? In Psalms 105 and 8 to 10. Go ahead.
And thou shalt be a father of many nations.
So he shall be a father of many nations. So when you look at good Genesis 35 and 10. Now this is after Isaac was born, because we're going to see that Isaac is going to be conceived in this chapter, and then Isaac going to have Jacob and Esau. So this is what the Most High told Jacob. Let's read. When his name was Jacob, it's changed to what?
Israel.
Israel. Let's read that.
Genesis 35 and 10. And the Most High said unto him, Thy name is Jacob.
So thy name is Jacob, read.
Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob.
The name shall not be called any more Jacob, read.
But Israel shall be thy name.
Israel shall be the name. That's when he changed his name to Israel, when he wrestled with the angel. Oh, no. Go ahead.
And he called his name Israel.
Called his name Israel, read.
And the Most High said unto him, I am the Most High Power Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply.
Be fruitful and multiply. Listen to what he say next.
A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee.
See? A nation and a company of nations shall come of thee. See? So that's a nation, which we are, as the Israelites, Hebrew Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, and a company of nations, which are the 12 tribes, which are different nations that make up one nation. See, a nation and a company of nations, like he told Abram, read,
shall be of thee. And kings shall come out of thy loins.
Right, a king shall come out of thy loins. Okay, so I just wanted to really establish that, and then you look at because a lot of times people, they always trying to bring in these other nations, but in reality, it's not talking about these other nations. Like you look at what is it? Go to Revelation 7 and 9, because that's what in the church they try and bring the Gentiles into this, and we're gonna get some understanding on this, because it's not talking about bringing them in for this great multitude. Or you can look at it for what is written, read.
Revelation 7 and 9.
Because before now, he's gave 12,000 from each of the tribes of Israel, you know, which make up to 144,000. Now I'll get to verse 9.
Revelation 7 and 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hand, and cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our power, which stood up upon the throne, and unto the Lamb.
Right, so salvation to who?
The nation.
Salvation to who?
Israel.
No. I didn't say salvation to Israel. Read what you see, verse 10.
And cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our power,
To who?
To our power.
Our power. Our power. Our is a personal possessive pronoun showing ownership. Our power. Read. Our say our God. Our power, right? Read.
Which sitteth upon the throne.
Which sitteth upon the throne. Read.
And unto the Lamb.
And unto the Lamb, right? So, let's look at this great multitude first. And go to 2 Genesis 2 and 16. Because people try to bring all these nations there because we scattered among all nations, so we're going to come out of there speaking different languages and so forth. But read this.
2 Genesis 2 and 16. And those that be dead.
3:16. It's a lot.
2 Genesis 3 and 16. And unto him thou gavest Isaac.
Right. Like we'll get ready to read about. To Abraham, the Most High gave him Isaac. Read.
And unto Isaac also thou gavest Jacob and Esau.
Right. Jacob and Esau was born. Go ahead, through Isaac. Read.
As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee.
So, the Most High chose Jacob to himself. Read.
And put by Esau.
And put Esau by. Put Esau aside. That's what it's saying. He chose Jacob. He put Esau aside. Read.
And so Jacob became a great multitude.
Jacob became what?
A great multitude.
Jacob became a what?
A great multitude.
Now go back to Revelation 7 and 9.
Revelation 7 and 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude.
Hold up. A what?
A great multitude.
Now read the last part of what you see in 2 Genesis 3 and 16. And Jacob. And so Jacob.
And so Jacob became a great multitude.
Right. So Jacob became this great multitude. Now, Revelation 7 and 9.
After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations, and kindreds, and people, and tongues, stood before the throne.
Right. So I mean, we can really go into that. If we go to Acts the 2nd chapter, the 9th verse. I mean, go to Acts 2 and 5. This is the day of Pentecost. After Mashiach died, rose on the 3rd day, walked there for 40 days. 7 days later was the 50th day. It's the day of Pentecost. Or in gathering, first fruits. Let's read what happened here.
Acts 2 and 5.
Right.
And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews.
Israelites, read.
Devout men.
Devout men, spiritual men that believed in the Most High and faith in the Mashiach. Read. Where were they from?
Out of every nation under heaven.
Right, out of every nation under heaven. Then, and we really scattered now. So where were we from? Verse 9. This is the place we came out of. They were Israelites. Read.
Acts 2 and 9. Parthians, and the Medes, and Elamites, and the dwellers in Mesopotamia, and in Judea, and Cappadocia, and Pontus, and Asia, Phrygia, and Pamphylia, and Egypt, and in the parts of Libya about Cyrene, and strangers of Rome, Jews, and proselytes, Crates, and Arabians. We do hear them speak in our tongues the wonderful work of the Most High.
See? And they have different languages. You see what I'm saying? So that's why we coming out of these different places, because I'm going to get Deuteronomy 28:64. Because the Most High said He's going to do this in the curses. If we didn't follow His law, statutes, commandments, so He's going to do this. And it was done. Read.
Deuteronomy 28:64.
Right.
And the Most High shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other.
There it is. You know, scatter us among all people, from one end of the earth even to the other. Read.
And there thou shalt serve other idols, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Right. So that's why you see that great multitude and so forth. So, and Abraham, going back to Genesis, it happened. You know, so we went from the beginning to the end.
Right.
You see? Then you get one more. Get Hosea 1 and 10. Hosea 1 and 10.
Hosea 1 and 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered.
That's a great multitude, ain't it?
Huh.
There it is. Okay, that's all I want. Now let's go back to Genesis.
17 and 6. Genesis 17 and 6. And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed.
Oh, there's one more I want to deal with in verse. Go back to Revelation 7 and 10 to show you that, to prove that it's not talking about no one but Israelites.
Revelation 7 and 10. And cry with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our power, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb.
Right. So now, go to Acts 3:13. Because it said, salvation to our power, our God, it said. And we say our power. So, which is the Most High. Who's he the power of? It say our power. Let's see.
Acts 3 and 13. The power of Abraham, and of Isaac, and of Jacob. The power of our fathers.
There it is. Power of our fathers. Power of Abraham, who had a son named Isaac, who had a son named Jacob. And Most High told us that's his name forever. Genesis 3:15 and 16. So, you say our God, I mean, who are you talking about? Genesis 3:15, 16.
Genesis 3:15. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed.
Exodus 3:15 and 16. Salakia.
Exodus 3:15.
Exodus 3:15 and 16.
Exodus 3:15. And the Most High said moreover unto Moses, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, The Most High power of your fathers, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob, have sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations.
See the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, the power of Jacob. This is his name forever. So you hear me, saying the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's his name forever, memorial to all generations. So once he left, because a lot of people be tripping on verse 14, but we're not dealing with that right now. That goes into another topic, because they're saying that I am is the Most High, but then I am is speaking to Moses in verse 2, which is who? An angel of the Most High. That angel of the Most High represents the spirit of Mashiach Yahushua, the Holy Spirit, you see? You understand? Because ain't nobody ever seen the Most High. Kind? You with me? So it's going, only one that's speaking to us is through a spirit or an angel. You see what I'm saying? So when he left, let's see if he said Yahweh, or not Yahweh, but he said, I am have sent me to talk to you, elders. Let's see who he said to go tell the elders. Remember, what's his name? What's his name? And what you just read, what's his name? In verse 15.
And the Most High said moreover unto Moses, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, the Most High power of your fathers, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob, have sent me unto you. This is my name forever.
That's his name. How long?
Forever.
Forever. So when you identify him as the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, the power of Jacob, that's his name forever. And what else?
And this is my memorial unto all generations.
Memorial to all generations. Right? So now when Moses leaves the presence of the council of the Most High through the angel speaking to him, now what is he going to go tell the elders? Let's read.
Go and gather the elders of Israel together, and say unto them, The Most High power of your fathers, the power of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, appeared unto me, saying.
So what did he go and tell them?
The most high power of your fathers, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob.
What is that?
That's the most high's name.
God. Right, God. Because he just said it, right?
15.
Right. I mean, it's real simple. That's why get Mathew 22:32. This is Mashiach Shai. We'll deal with 31 first, so you know it's talking about the Most High. Mashiach Shai is telling you this is his name.
Matthew 22:31. But as touching the resurrection of the dead, have ye not read that which was spoken unto you by Mashiach Yahushua,
by the Most High.
By the Most High, by Mashiach Yahushua, saying, I am the power of Abraham, and the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob.
That's what he said, right? That's the power of our fathers. That's the power of our forefathers. Who's the Most High? Who's the power of who? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Let's go back to where we was at in Genesis 17. You got it? You see it? I mean, it's there. It's just, he said, what is the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? What is that?
That's the Most High.
I know, but what is that?
That's his name.
Khan. Why you say that?
We just read it.
We just read it, right? We just read it. Khan, that's it. Simple as that. Keep it simple, right? It's simple. Okay, go ahead.
17:8. Genesis 17:8. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their power. And the Most High said unto Abraham.
See, their power. Their power. There is a personal, possessive pronoun showing ownership. See? Go ahead.
And the Most High said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant therefore, thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. This is my covenant, which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man-child among you shall be circumcised.
Right, so he said every man-child among us is supposed to be circumcised. Go ahead.
And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you.
So that's a covenant between us and the Most High, that our scrotum, our penis, is supposed to be circumcised. That's a covenant between the Most High and us, the children of Israel, to this day. Read.
And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man-child in your generations. He that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed.
Yeah, so it say everybody around us got to be circumcised. Go ahead.
He that is born in thy house
on the 8th day, when they born, read.
And he that is bought with thy money must needs be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man-child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant.
Right, so he said, the man-child that's not circumcised have broken the covenant. He can be cut off from the people. That's why it's important to be circumcised. Read.
And the Most High Power said unto Abraham, As for Sarah, thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarah, but Sarah shall her name be. And I will bless her, and give thee a son also of her. Yeah, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her.
So now, he said he going to bless Sarah, and kings going to come out of her. Many nations going to come out of her. From her womb, read.
Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed.
Abraham, remember, how old is he? He 99, right? He fell on his face and laughed. Read.
And said in his heart.
Said in his mind, what?
Shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old?
Say, hey, a child gonna be born to me that's 100 years old? You know? 100 years old? 100 years old? That's why he started laughing. Oh man, how's this gonna happen, Reed?
And shall Sarah, that is 90 years old, bear?
Say, Sarah, 90 years old, she gonna have a child? Go ahead.
And Abraham said unto the Most High, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee.
Oh, that Ishmael may live before Isaac. Before, Isaac is born, Ishmael already here. Let it be Ishmael. Through Hagar, right? It wouldn't be through Sarah. Go ahead.
And the Most High said, Sarah, thy wife, shall bear thee a son indeed.
Say, Sarah, thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed. Go ahead. At 90 years old, and you being 99 years old.
Right.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt call his name Isaac.
See, this is when Isaac is going to be conceived. Go ahead.
And I will establish my covenant with him.
So he's going to establish his covenant with Isaac. Remember, he's crying out for Ishmael, the Arabs. But he said, nah, I'm going to establish my covenant with Isaac, Read.
For an everlasting covenant.
For how long?
An everlasting covenant.
An everlasting covenant, Read.
And with his seed after him.
And with his seed after him. Read.
And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee.
As for Ishmael, I heard what you asking and crying to me concerning your firstborn. Read.
Behold, I have blessed him.
See, I blessed him. Read.
And will make him fruitful.
Make him fruitful to have many children too. Read.
And will multiply him exceedingly.
He's multiplied exceedingly. Read.
12 princes shall he beget.
12 princes he gonna get. Read.
And I will make him a great nation.
So to make him a great nation, come on.
But my covenant will I establish with Isaac.
But my contract, my agreement, my covenant gonna be with Isaac. Read.
Which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year.
Go ahead.
And he left off talking with him.
You stopped talking to him. So don't tell him nothing else. Go ahead. This is my word. Go ahead.
And the Most High went up from Abraham. And Abraham took Ishmael.
Wow, myself, y'all shot him. You don't put him there. He ain't there. Anybody ever seen the Most High?
No.
Because if you keep saying that, then it's almost like the Most High right there dealing with him. Personally, you see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And he left off talking with him, and the Most High, Yahushua, went up from Abraham. And Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the self-same day.
Right.
As the Most High, Yahushua, had said unto him.
He's being obedient. That was a commandment. He's being obedient. So he circumcised everyone around him. Read. All the males. Read.
And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin.
Wow, he was 99 years old when he got circumcised. So who can complain? Right? At any age, right? Go ahead.
And Ishmael, his son, was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin.
So Ishmael was 13 years old when he got circumcised. Go ahead.
In the self-same day was Abraham circumcised and Ishmael his son. And all the men of his house, born in the house, and bought with money of the stranger, were circumcised with him.
That's right. You circumcised all the males. That's all I wanted to ask. I have a question concerning Acts 2 and 10. Read that again. About who's the strangers of Rome.
Acts 2 and 10. Phrygia and Pamphylia in Egypt, and in the parts of Libya about Cyrene, and strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes.
Right, so when you read verse 5, it's telling you who they are. Who came to the Pentecost, read.
Acts 2 and 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews.
Who?
Jews.
Jews. Israelites, read.
Devout men.
Devout men, read.
Out of every nation under heaven.
Right, so just like before I got to know you, you was a what?
African American.
No. I mean, as far as what we just read. Because it was the question is about the strangers of Rome. See what I'm saying? A stranger is somebody that you don't know. You know what I mean? Like before I met you, you was when you first met me. When you first walked up there, you was a stranger. I was a stranger to you, you was a stranger. But we still was Israelites, you see what I'm saying? So that's a stranger. Like we have strangers of our people. Somebody that you don't know. But they still Israelites, you see what I'm saying? The rest of them, a lot of them they knew, but they didn't know these cats. You know what I mean? They spoke all these different languages. That was a miracle that happened. They spoke different languages. That was a miracle that Most High brought the Holy Spirit in to have them speak the languages. The people that came there that were Israelites, that's what I said. They were devout men, they were Israelites. They came out of all these different places. That's why I went there to show you where the Israelites, the Jews, devout men, Jews, you know what I mean, that came from all these different lands. Because he ain't dealing with no other nations. Not for his holy convocations, you know what I'm saying? Because they tell you it was Jews, devout men came from all these different nations in verse 5. So, read verse 6.
Acts 2 and 6. Now when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language.
Right, see? They was confused because they heard them speaking in their own language, the language that they spoke in the different lands that they came, the Israelites that came from these different lands. See what I'm saying? So, but we started at 9, that was giving you the identity of the lands where they came from in verse 9, all the way down, you know. So those strangers are those that, like we have, like you have like the circumcision and the uncircumcision. You have the strangers of Israel, you have the strangers of the other nations also. You know what I mean? You got to know which one it's talking about. Because I mean, Most High ain't dealing with nobody else but Israel. You know what I mean? You only have known of all the families of the earth, say Amos 3 and 2, you see what I'm saying? And all they have is go by what? They got the New Testament to go by? No. They got only what? Old Testament. So we got to go there to make back up what it is that the Most High is dealing with. Period. You know, Mashiach Yahushua is dealing with. Period. That's what it's read Genesis 17:27.
Genesis 17 to 27. And all the men of his house, born in the house, and bought with money of the stranger, were circumcised with him. And the Most High, why Mashiach have a shot?
That's all. No, because like I said, we have two different strangers. You have strangers that are of Israelites and strangers that was the other nations. See what I'm saying? That's why you look at Isaiah 14 and 1. Because the other nations, they wasn't these the Most High's holy covenants. It's like devout men, Jews, devout men, that came to the Feast of Pentecost. Other nations were not, you know, they were not invited with us. We tell you that, read that.
Isaiah 14 and 1. For the Most High will have mercy on Jacob.
Will have mercy on Jacob, read.
And will yet choose Israel.
Yet choose Israel, read.
And set them in their own land.
And set us in our own land, read.
And the strangers shall be joined with them.
And the strangers going to be joined with us, read.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
These strangers of these other nations, they're going to cleave to the house of Jacob, read.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place.
They're going to bring them to our place. Because you had the law of the strangers initially because we were not strong enough to be able to deal with these other nations. So we had a law of the strangers. But this concludes the law of the strangers right here. So these nations, which are the strangers, going to be what?
Shall be joined with them.
Going to be joined with us, read.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
And they're going to be cleaving to us, read.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place.
Right, they're going to take them and bring them to our place, read.
And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Most High for servants and handmaids.
We're going to possess them in the land of the Most High for what?
Servants and handmaids.
Servants and handmaids, read.
And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were.
So we're going to take them captives, whose captives we were. So that's not talking. That's the other strangers. You see what I'm saying? So we had the strangers that was our people that was just like they came from out of town. They came and they didn't really know. They say, hey, it's like, come on in here. You know what I mean? And sit down and let's break bread and get some wine and some water. You know, and just eat. Let me feed you. Just like whenever we go over the, as we continue to see, angels came and they dealt with, you know, destroying Sodom and Gomorrah. See what I'm saying? But they still came as strangers. You see what I'm saying? But they were in bodily form. That's why it says Hebrews 13:2 says, be aware of entertaining strangers. Read that.
Hebrews 13:2. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers.
Entertain strangers. Read.
For thereby some have entertained angels unawares.
Right. So thereby you have entertained angels unawares, but they're still strangers. You see what I'm saying? So we not entertaining. You know, we're not entertaining the nations. You see what I'm saying? Like they're not entertaining us. Right? So he's talking about Israelites. So you have, you know, that's what we're dealing with here. So we're going to go to Isaiah the 40th chapter, in the first verse.